question we get quite a bit on the channel is how well we find quick detached scope mounts return to zero. So I've got a target out there at 100 metres. I'll shoot a 5-shot group with the scope pre-attached and not removing it. Then I'll follow that up with another 5-shot group, pulling the scope off between each shot and reinstalling it. And then at the end, just for shits and giggles, I might do a 5-shot group off the tripod and just see what sort of group size I can hold there. So yeah, we'll see how we go. The rifle I'm using for this is my Howa 1500 223 in a MDT LSS chassis with the Thermion 2 XL50 scope on top and spur 3006 QD rings. And for ammo, I'm just shooting ADI bulk tin 55 grain Blitz Kings. Okay, it is also worth noting this rifle's 0 for 200 metres, not 100, so the point of impact is going to be slightly high, but we're shooting for groups, not for bullseye, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so we can see there we're bang on 100 metres. We will start on the top left target. So we go 5 shots there. And again, I'm just aiming centre, so the point of impact is going to be slightly high. Alrighty, let that cool down for a minute and go up and have a look at the group size. Alrighty, yeah, decent sized group. Probably could do a bit better with better conditions. It is slightly windy, so I'm not surprised we've got a little bit of windage shift, but I honestly didn't think it'd be quite that much. So anyway, I might have to just double confirm this on a slightly nicer condition day. Okay, that wind is picking up slightly, but now we'll go for the QD every time. So target over to the right. And again, very similar group size bar, that one there, which I suspect is the one where I thought I was a bit off the left. But very consistent, you know, again, those four there, about an inch. Yeah, I'll be very curious to watch it back on the spotting scope camera compared to the Thermion, just see if it is the one I thought I pulled. But yeah, elevation's basically dead nuts, windage is about the same, and again, I really do need to check this on a slightly less windy day and just see what's going on there with that windage shift, if it is just that bit of breeze or if I've got a slight issue going on there. But anyway, for a thermal, that's still plenty good enough accuracy. And I know someone's going to ask, so here they are. So these are the ESs and SDs that we're getting out of the ADI Blitz Kings. Certainly not comp ammo, but still shoots minute a pixel. If you are using QDs, ultimately they're only as accurate as the way that you reinstall them. So with the spur, they're nice and easy. You just use your same recoil lug. So that one there I've got marked. You line it up on the scope, and then you want to push forward into the recoil lug. So you hold it forward, and these just cam over and lock. If you're using the likes of lure pole QDs where they have the thumb levers or almost like wing nut type setups, if you will, if you really want to have them clocked at the same angle each time so you're getting the same torque value, or if you're using a traditional style scope ring where you're using, you know, regular bolts and that, you really need to be using a torque wrench and using the same settings. Alrighty, so last up we'll just do this tripod group. So this is something that I've sort of been curious about for a while. I've done plenty of practice sessions on steel with the tripod, but never actually just printed it on paper. So I'm very curious to see what size group I can sort of hold. The way I shoot off a tripod is a bit different than what I've seen from any other demonstrative videos, which there is some very good ones out there. I highly recommend some from Birchie over at Low Vis Gear. He has a few that are excellent. But the way I do it, always try and have the two back legs nice and squared up, so you're as in line as possible. Obviously sometimes you have to pan a bit, and because my rifle is set up with a regular field balance where it's balanced more towards the rear of the rifle rather than a true neutral balance like on a typical comp setup, the way I generally do it, so I run my clamp slightly tensioned so I still have enough movement, and then I'll just pinch the sling down around the front leg, which you'll see better from the third person view when I'm shooting. But that way I put tension on the front of the rifle, that controls your elevation, and then your backhand, that's controlling windage, and then you ideally stay nice and squared up and gives you your recoil control, which it works for me on my foxing setups just because it's fast. You can maintain a lighter weight balanced rifle, so if you have to shoot off hand or off a, you know, bit of a funky rest, you can still do all that sort of stuff. But yeah, you can still get nice and stable off a tripod as well, so it works well for what I do. The sling that I've got on, it's just an Onward Research one, which for this style stuff I prefer a lighter weight sling just because it's more, I suppose you'd say, malleable around the tripod leg or easier to maneuver. And yeah, I figure most people who are hunting are always going to have a sling on their rifle, and it's a nice assistance for getting steady. So that way, and that sort of barely locks the rifle down. You can still retain some movement, so I'll back that off so you can still swivel around there, and then when you lock that down, puts tension on the fore and keeps the rifle nice and steady. that's interesting. So there's a slight elevation shift off the tripod, naturally a much larger group size, which is to be expected, and a lot more windage dispersion rather than elevation. I'm sort of not surprised that it's shooting a little bit high, just having the rear end of the rifle not supported. And yeah, as I said, I think I'll be coming back on a slightly nicer weather day, just try and verify my 100% when there's no wind. But yeah, there's no bullshit there. That's the groups that were shot on the day. So whatever gear you're using, make sure you test it, make sure you practice with it.